welcome back to my Ford Transit Campervan build, and this episode we're going to be doing, or hopefully, the lower cabinet carcasses. And the construction method would be pretty identical to the way I did all of the upper cupboards, only sort of upside down. But instead I'm at my friend's workshop, Paul. I took Paul, his partner and a group of students to Mongolia and China in 2016. We stayed friends ever since, and he's got an amazing workshop. So he wants to help me out to do all the cabinet carcasses on his CNC machine. So this episode might not be anything useful for learning the skills of doing it yourself, although similar to the way I did those ones above me by hand. But should look cool. And then after that we can get a lot more done. So let's have someone else crack on. Right, well it's the following day after the CNCing yesterday, and basically got 8 of these cut out with pre-drill holes for the cabinet hinges, pre-drill holes for sort of adjustable shelf pegs, and these are sort of going to need a little bit of scribing done. Against the wall. Plinth here and there, a nice bit to join them all together, and some backing pieces to join them together as well. And that's today's job, is to get this side and that side both built. So I was worried I was going to have to do quite a bit of scribing for the back sections, but turns out when they sit flat against the wall, the bit which will be scribed is this angle after here, but because these are sitting in the hollows they don't need to be scribed. So the bit I do need to sort out, unfortunately, is I need to figure out why when this is flush there is a bit of a gap at the bottom. I don't think the floor is completely flat, so I need to figure out a solution around that. First I'm just going to start scribbling in the bits I need to cut out first. Well, it's been a busy 2 days in the workshop. I've tried to get as much footage as I could, but because the workshop they're also doing professional jobs and I had only 2 days to do it, I had to sort of get a lot of work on and try and film some footage when I could. But let me show you what we've been up to. So at the minute, don't mind about the white, that's just the primer. So we started, because these are going to have to come out to get their final top coat, we've built 2 cabinets here, which will then be joined together with the other parts. And run out of time for the other side, we've only got 1 finished there, and then the other one will come over here. These parts are already cut, so I'm going to put those together today. Where they're going to be mounted is they're going to be screwed through these battens at the back, which is into some of the battens in the wall, and also there are pocket holes in the corners as well, so the bases will be actually screwed through into the 18mm ply below. So I think the next job is to start assembly. All of these holes you see in here, so these are pre-drilled by the CNC machine for the hinges, and all of these are for adjustable shelves, so I can sort of figure out where the shelves are going to go or change them if need be. I will need to make a few little changes. I've realised this has to move because the sink's going to be here instead. Well, the sink and the hob are going to be here, so this is going to move back a bit, and I need to drill a few holes to get things through. The batteries, on the other hand, I'm going to have 2 batteries at the bottom of this cupboard and bring one over here and drill some holes through. That's no real issue. But that's what's been up for the last 2 days. And now I know everyone doesn't have access to a humongous CNC machine, but everything we did on the CNC machine could have been done by hand. It would have just taken a lot longer. It's quicker if Paul made up the cabinet ends on the CNC machine and just cut them out, and that takes up a lot less time and being in the shop and using tools when he needs to get on with stuff as well. Well, oh dear, oh god, fell back. I've just spent the last hour removing masking tape from the floor because it's really quite sticky and it doesn't come off, so don't use a masking tape to mark out your own. Use electrical tape or duct tape or something which comes off easily. But now I can start putting together these units or trimming the bits at the end we need trimming. Made a small mistake on this one. This is going to interfere with the sink, so I'm going to put a far thinner one at the very back. Unfortunately this is glued, so hopefully if I take the screws out and hit it enough it should come apart. So the minute just figuring out this end cabinet here, so this bench is going to be moved back to this spot. So this is my 70 litre thermal water tank. And what comes with brackets, I think I'm actually just going to sandwich it between these 2 bits of wood as a small cupboard, and then cut a hole through here, and this is where it links up to go to the kitchen side. And then for any maintenance you would just undo the joint, the fitting which I'm going to do here, and then slide the whole unit out if you need to do any maintenance. I'm not going to cut a hole to access the hatch, although in the future, who knows. Right, leave that clamped off to dry for a bit. So something I've not yet talked about is that my cupboards, I've built them around the pillar. I know a lot of vehicles, or you'll see the cupboard stop here, and you've got a sort of empty area here which could be used for storage, but since I'm going to be living in this van full time, I want maximum amount of cupboard storage, especially since I'm not having a garage. So I've built these corners into the cupboards. Hopefully we can get that in pretty soon. So since these are going to have to come out again to be get this final top coat, I'm going to just put 1 or 2 screws in the backboard and probably 1 on the floor just to get them in place and stable, so I can then join the other ones together. And that means I can then start building all the bits in here to be able to then take out again when I do the painting. Because if I don't get these in now, it's going to be a pain. So I'm going to just do some pre-drilled holes. So this is a bit of tulip wood which is going across here, which is going to bring everything together and bring the fronts all square of the backs. However, because this was on the CNC, the CNC can't do internal square corners, or not like this. So I just need to give this a 6mm bevel so that it nicely fits snug. Cool. So this is a little bit higher because I think these depressions are actually 20mm. And this is being cut at, this will be planed at 22, just fine. So in a minute it's just going to sit slightly proud, and then I'll, next time I'm back in the workshop, I'll plane it down to 22 instead. So the carcasses are all built, and it's really making this van sort of start to take shape. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of the layout, and then I think that'll be it for this video. So let's have a look. So at the minute, this is the single seat which is going to go in the front, and this double one's going to come back here. That's just about where the double one will come to when it's sited in this spot. So bed-wise, I'm going to go for a Murphy style bed. So I'm going to, when I have the countertops on, there's going to be a bed which comes vertically up and meets the wood there. So during the day I can have the bed up and have all this space, and then during the evening I can put the bed down, and I'll probably have it in two sections, so I can also put down the rear section and have it as a sofa. But we are going to move a few things around. So this is going to become the new electrical cupboard. So this panel here is going to come off. It's all mounted on a separate panel, so I'm going to unscrew the panel, move that onto this side wall here. The inverter can go here, and the solar switches and other bits and bobs can come into this cupboard. These batteries will be running parallel. I still need to put a hole through here. And this cupboard will now become where sort of the Wi-Fi and some of the other bits are going to be sited, just because this is getting a little bit thick. It's going to stick out a bit further than I wanted. It's not really much work. All I have to do is just change the length on two of these wires. And under here is where the kitchen and a lot of the appliances are going. So the diesel heater is going to go across here. Fridge is going to be above it. I'm probably going to go for the Dometic CRX50. It's quite a small fridge, and that has plenty of clearance underneath, especially where these plinth kickboards are. And over this area is going to be a lot going on. So we're going to have the hob, the sink, and then we're going to have the hot water tank here, and the little tank for the grey water collection, and then the pumps for the water system. So it's going to be quite a busy cupboard. That's the overall plan. Well, the carcasses are in, so that's pretty much going to sum up the video. I can now get on with lots of other jobs. They're all going to come out again so they can get painted, and you'll see about the colour theme when we get to that part. And the work surfaces will go on as well in another video. But well, thank you much for joining me. If you have any questions, find me on Instagram and shoot them over there. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.